Let's start this video out by looking at a boner. Now, first and foremost, this setup was labbed and popularized by Bones from the Falcon Discord. He made a video covering it, but since he doesn't have a YouTube or anything, I'm mostly just signal boosting his work and adding the tutorial. His original vid will be in the description. If you're a coward, the proper name for this type of combo would be an auto-cancel landing pivot, or just an auto-pivot for short. I'll cover those mechanics in a bit. Even the most precise slingshot, IRAR, or attack cancel are still going to tack on some extra frames before you can jump. But by combining that turn into the landing lag, you can trim down on those frames, which unzips new boner combo routes with reverse up air and back air. The boner might end up being pretty big, because it's one of the few ways that Falcon can actually score a kill on DI away. The thing is, boners will only kill on DI away, so this could finally give Falcon an option to condition DI in, and unlock those mid-level kill combos that you can't normally land on good players. Bear in mind that we're basically looking at the absolute limit of Falcon's combo ranges. A combo that only works because you saved 1 or 2 frames is just a combo that's 1 or 2 frames away from not working at all. There are going to be gaps, so someone like Bayonetta could easily punish your boner. But aside from frame 1 combo breakers, boners are excellent at stealing jumps or forcing your opponent to buffer a hurtbox shifting option that you can just loop and repunish. There's a lot of frame trap potential here at lower percents. I think the best part about all this is that nothing really changes about your game plan. You can just play your normal game and then see if their DI looks good enough to give you a boner. I will say though, this is not much of a Wi-Fi technique. It's all about following their DI on reaction and subtly adjusting your boner based on what hitbox of up air you landed. So even though you can still try to show off your boner online, it's going to be more impressive in person. And even though you technically can get it set up with pretty much any short hop up air, you do need to recognize that you're going to go for the boner as soon as possible, because that's going to affect the way that you fast fall. And I think that's a good enough segue into the tutorial half of the video. First, let's talk auto cancels. Most aerials have auto cancel windows at the beginning and end of the move where you'll land with 4 frames of lag instead of going through however much lag the aerial usually has. For Falcon up air, there's no auto cancel window at the beginning, but there is a very generous one at the end. By the time you fast fall back down from a short hop up air, you'll hit the window for free every time. The thing is though, this 4-frame landing auto cancel animation isn't associated with any particular aerial. It's just the exact same landing lag that you'd get from an empty hop, which means that it has some properties that normal landing lag doesn't have. Does anybody remember that little video I put out a long time ago about using empty hop turns as a way to avoid Falcon's turnaround animation? This is the exact same mechanic, it's just a much smarter implementation. All you have to do is hold back on the stick as you land and you'll turn during your landing lag. Or so I thought. There's actually a trick to it, which finally explains why I was really struggling to make it happen consistently in frame-by-frame mode. But now, thanks to Bungler, shoutouts Bungler, I can let you in on the big secret. It has to be a tilt input, not a smash input. It won't work if you buffer a dash, you have to buffer a walk. For example, if I slam the stick back a little ways off the ground, I'll land without the auto pivot and then do a back dash. But if I do that exact same input from higher up, the buffered dash input has expired by the time I reach the ground, so I do get the auto pivot and start walking back instead. It's all about avoiding the dash. That means the corners of the stick are going to be your best friend. You can fast fall into an auto pivot with the back bottom corner for free. And this part doesn't really benefit Falcon, but other characters could use the upper back corner to auto pivot if they need to avoid fast falling so that they can hit a later auto cancel window. So let's put it all together. Do your short hop up air, and then fast fall with the bottom back corner, and then hold the stick in that position until you land. Once you touch the ground, you'll start the auto pivot. And now you're free to hold the stick forward again while you buffer your next jump, facing backwards without a single wasted frame, ready to smack someone with your boner. So now that we know how to get a boner, it's time to learn how to use it. I mentioned earlier that it's all about reacting and making minor adjustments, so I should probably cover what it is you're supposed to be reacting to. We already know that we're looking for DI out, that's pretty straightforward, but the other big thing to watch out for is non-tumble. Non-tumble hit stun is not affected by DI, so keep a sharp lookout for when your up air launches them without the smoke trail. They won't go as far away, since their DI out is being ignored, and then you can close the distance on them to set up the up air that you want to boner off of. And when it's time to land the reverse up air back air finisher, the late hit of up air usually puts them in non-tumble as well. This lets you know where to aim the bear ahead of time. The finisher happens pretty fast though. You should be looking at your positioning right before the up air hits and then predicting which version of up air you got while it's happening and not after the launch. No pressure though, because you're very likely to land a good frame trap even if you guess wrong. And finally, for boners that go from the ground directly into a back air, I should mention that the back air isn't necessarily supposed to be buffered. It's a little counterintuitive because the whole point here is that we're saving those few extra frames, but oftentimes you need those frames to gain extra height, not to get the move out faster. If you liked the video, do all that engagement stuff so YouTube thinks it's worth recommending. I honestly don't know what the algorithm is going to do with this one because of the name and everything, but I'm a man of principle, so it's a risk I'm willing to take. Sub if you haven't for more Falcon content, and I will see you on the next one.